Hey YouTube, it's WG Revival, back with another terrain piece, another episode if you like of me versus water effects. This one, a pond, again like a lot of the terrain I've been doing, it's sort of general purpose but built with Saga in mind, so good for Saga, good for lots of things. Let's have a look. And our story begins with a large piece of 3mm MDF, and from which I've got a smaller piece. This is about 150mm or 6 inches square, which is the size of a pond, or the maximum size of a pond in Saga. Again, general purpose scenery, but I'm making it to Saga specifications. I have crudely rounded this off with the jigsaw, and I'm going to smooth it out a bit. I'm back on the bench. I've got the edges smoothed off for a start, and then, unlike previous water effects things like the swamps I did, where I gouged out the MDF, this time I built it up. There's a Meld the Terrain Tutor video that I'm basically ripping off here, but he used balsa wood. I don't have any balsa wood, so I'm using surplus bits of MDF sprue here. This is 3mm MDF from foreground, and it's not important that it's from foreground. The important thing is that it's 3mm high, so that's just going to give me my pond, my area in which to pour water effects. This I'll smooth out, that I'll smooth out. I've built up the outside in one way and the inside in another way, so I've got this sort of convex mound thing going on here. I've just built up to the MDF walls I've done with, started off with DAS and then smoothed it off with, finished off with polyfiller to smooth it off. Exactly the same on the inside, but just to create this sort of little shallow, extremely shallow bowl. And I've just sanded it all down. It's still not perfectly smooth or anything, but nature isn't perfectly smooth, and I will cover it up with some basing stuff, and that will make it all look nice. And there he is with just with sand on. There's a bit of railway ballast here and there just to sort of vary up the texture a little, but I've not done a great deal of that. It's mostly sand. The other thing different to other things I've done with water effects is I haven't textured the inside this time. It just doesn't seem any point. The water effects just sort of annihilates it anyway. It just makes it harder to paint basically, so I haven't bothered this time to save myself a bit of work. I've slightly whizzed through the painting because I really have covered it several times before in other videos. Just have a look back through the terrain playlist, but in summary, it's a Burton Craft paint. I've dry brushed it. I sometimes use emulsion, or sometimes for smaller pieces such as this one I will actually use model paint because the coverage is a bit better, and in this case I have just filled it with it looks extremely bright in there. It's not quite as bright in reality. I can't remember if that's brown violet or reflective green, but it's basically one of those World War II sort of olive green things, because ponds aren't really blue. Ponds are sometimes blue, but generally they're a bit more green looking. So that's what I'm trying to convey. And the next stage is to add some reeds. Previously for the swamps I used static grass, sort of long static grass clumps as reeds. They work quite well. This time I've got a different approach. This is from Noch or Notch. Not quite sure how you pronounce that, but it's German, and these are aimed at model railways, so they might be a bit delicate for Dark Age warfare. But these are, oh, splendidly, these are laser cut paper. So there's 4 on a sheet. I've got 4 sheets, and they just sort of all fold up into there and go into your pond, so that they'll attach quite nicely once I pour in the fake water. But well, we'll see how they hold up to, as I say, to the rigours of Dark Age warfare. I've applied the reeds. I probably should have showed you what they look like flat, but well, there's one of what I suppose you'd call a sprue. So they just pop them out of there, fold up all the stuff. I found I needed to just sort of get a bit of PVA and just squish everything together, otherwise it'd sort of fall apart, which looked great for the leaves, but not for the sort of reed at the top. So I couldn't find a way to make that stick up without making everything else stick up. So make everything stick up. Just did 3 clumps. I kind of had a vision that that box could have done more. I think it'd look better with twice the stuff on there, but then it's getting quite expensive, especially for something that might actually just break as soon as you stick it on a bloody tabletop. So yeah, I've compromised. So 3 clumps of reeds. Let's get some water effects in. And there we have it, a completed pond. So the static grass has gone on, the water's gone in, the reeds have stiffened up a bit. Hopefully they'll survive a few battles. But there we go. Another one to the terrain collection. I'm quite chuffed with that. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.